why don't we start off with the Intrepid? But let's watch the trailer for it, and then we'll check out the Q&A and see what they're trying to say about it. Oh, why is it lagging? Let's start there. Let's try that again.
Mom, Dad, sorry I didn't write sooner. Things have been non-stop out here. Being on my own has been such a rush. I wish you could see it. The views, wildlife, the locals.
Dog, imagine having the situational awareness to get yourself in this position. Like, you shouldn't be flying a spaceship.
The locals.
Or that situation. Your parents need to get you back, buddy. Not gonna last long.
It's not all been smooth sailing, but don't worry. If I keep carving out my path, who knows how far I can go. This is just the start.
At Crusader, start small, dream big.
Holmes, this song reminds me so much of that soft rock alternative song from the 90s. I don't know what it is. Look at all the...
Start small, dream big.
Like, all of these, not a bad job of keeping the similarities between all the different thrusters, but I can't help but feel like the C1 has the best ratio of thruster to size. And that's why the C1 is still the best ship in the game. Just looks so good. Looks so good. But the Intrepid seems so small, its thrusters, compared to the back of the ship itself. I wish that they were a little bit bigger, like a good ratio to the rest of the ship's backside booty. Ship booty. Shooty. Shabooty. All right, so that's the trailer for the Intrepid. Let's check out... Got a Q&A here, but we've also got the page itself. So, Crusader Intrepid. Oh, this is the Q&A. Okay. Wait, is it? No. Sorry, here is the page. Crusader Intrepid, even the most expansive empires have humble beginnings, perfect for short-range cargo runs and courier jobs. The Intrepid is a single-seat starship with a small signature and a big heart. So, straight away on the introduction, they're focusing more on its cargo capacity and ability to carry than its combat. Probably a good call. But as we will scroll down, I think we will find that there's nothing too special about its... Oh, this is just... Okay, we have to actually click in. Nothing too special about its cargo carrying capacity. It's rather disappointing. So... Perfect for short-range cargo runs and courier jobs. Yes, the Intrepid. The Intrepid can pack in an impressive, a f***ing huge 8 SCU of cargo. You really put the word impressive before the number 8? Making it ideal for short-term cargo runs and courier jobs. Maybe it's just because our scale, our scope is so off for how the world actually works in Star Citizen, that 8 SCU is such a small amount in our eyes. But because if you think about it, technically most people in the Star Citizen universe don't fly spaceships. We are the cream of the crop, the bread of the butter. I'm gonna stick with that one. We are the absolute top, peak society. We're flying around spaceships being all hoity-toity. Even if you do it in your underwear, you're still doing it more than most people. So maybe the idea of carrying 8 SCU is still a big deal for most people in the world, but if you own a spaceship, 8 SCU seems like such a small amount. Look at how many helmets you can put in there, though. Oh my god. All right. So then, of course, they have to try and show off the gun. A size 4 weapon hardpoint and twin missiles will keep bogeys off your back until you reach safety, should you find yourself in a crossfire. I gotta say, I'm doing okay with the gun itself. I think we did fine in combat with the size 4 repeater. 2 missiles though? Oof. Not even a reload? A freaking big ol' oof. I would love just at least 4 more missiles after that. The distinctly Crusader design aesthetic and attention to detail are on full display in the Intrepid, while onboard quarters and amenities remain classic Crusader, even scaled down a bit. It is true. They did a good job with the interior on this ship. It looks good. 23 meters in length, 20 meters in width, 6 meters in height. It's the size of other small ships. 1 size 4, 8 SCU, 1 crew. It's like, it just looks, it's so close to looking so good. To be quite honest, I feel like, I don't know if it's feeling a little softer now or if the look kind of grew on me, but it's a little bit less, it feels a little less blocky than when I first looked at it. I still don't like the wings back here, specifically how stacked on top of each other they look when viewed from the front. Mainly, I think the angle that doesn't look good. They don't really hit it in any of these pictures, which makes sense. It's kind of this angle, but more from the front. Angles from the other side like this, as long as you can kind of diminish the space between the cockpit and the gun, I think look a lot better. And then they've got it down here for sale. $60 war bond. $68 currently for a starter pack. $80 normally for a starter pack. What do you guys think of that price? I think $60 war bond makes sense to me. That's around what I was thinking it would be, $55 to $65. Because like I said, I know, I think we have this weird thing as humans to just automatically compare whatever is happening to whatever we perceive to be the best in that category. So everybody goes and immediately says, oh, well, this thing doesn't have combat capabilities as good as the Avenger Titan. But, and this is a genuine question, the Avenger Titan has better combat capabilities. But how about the 100i, the Aurora, the Mustang, the Reliant, the Pisces, then the Cutter? So there's 6 other ships that this thing is technically competing with, I think. How many of them outgun this ship? I was thinking this thing looked like it was a human Siulin. And in that regard, I'd pick this over it just for the fact that the Siulin split up on 3 different decks, but it does seem like the Siulin is better prepared for combat, at least. I also think it's interesting to consider these ships and their value when not looking at real world money cost. That seems to be what that seems to be what is, like, we get to nitpicking. Yeah, we get to the point where, like, this ship seems like it should be more than this ship because it has 5 feet more of space in this room, and less about like, oh, I like this feature about this ship, so I'll pay this much money. Because I feel like all of these small ships, it's so crowded in this space that it's almost impossible for them to make sure they all match their monetary value in the features that they give. They kind of just have to like throw a dart at a board. Be like, okay, it landed in the bottom left-hand quadrant. Let's make it a little bit better at cargo then. All right, Q&A. What prompted the naming of the ship Intrepid? Since this is a starter cargo ship, so they're literally calling this a starter cargo ship. They shouldn't do that. Just call it a cargo ship. Don't call it a... Dude, calling this a starter cargo ship draws emphasis to its cargo. This thing is a all-rounder. Like, we're like 4 words into this Q&A and they're calling it a starter cargo ship with an 8 SCU split cargo. Come on, man. We imagine the enterprising spirit of someone starting up a new transport business in the verse and thought that Intrepid captured their plucky, adventurous attitude. Also in its favor was the fact that there have been numerous real-life vessels with the designation Intrepid, which gave the name authenticity. Also, why the heck isn't that space shielded? Isn't it actually kind of weird that, I guess, yeah, technically 8 SU is more than most starters, but like, would you call the... Wait a second. Okay, the Avenger Titan is the base model Titan, Avenger. I was about to say, would you call the Avenger Titan a cargo-focused starter? Because I wasn't sure if there was a basic model of Avenger. Yeah, they do call it a light cargo hauler. It is, yeah. So I mean, that's what I keep talking about. Our scale, the way we think of these things is is off because of how we're used to playing the game, but 8 SCU is technically more than you would get with most ships of this size. And because everybody is automatically comparing it to the Avenger Titan, you think, oh, well, that's normal. But it's not. It carries more than the Avenger. It carries more than the Mustang. Does it carry more than the Reliant? It carries more than the 100i. It carries more than the Pisces. It carries more than the Reliant. It does carry more than most starters. So it outguns and outcarries most starter ships. It has a bed, multiple rooms, an engineering terminal. Size 4 gun for better armor penetration. Like, it's not a bad option so far. How about the Nomad? I don't think it competes really with the Nomad. The Nomad will outdo this ship. Not only does it have all that stuff, it also has a tractor beam. Yeah, the Nomad would be a step up from this for sure. And it also has the interior going for it, which is nice. We have a lot of starter ships already in the game. Why choose to make another? Oh, this should be an interesting answer. Starter ships are a major gateway into the game. So we want to make sure that there's a wide range of options to allow new citizens to play the way they want from the beginning. Even if their decision purely revolves around a preferred manufacturer or aesthetics. Thank they said that. Dude, this is such an important part of gaming that still, I think maybe because we're all real hardcore, we're like, oh my god, I gotta get the most DPS and the most boxes in my ship. I gotta go off the cargo grid and fill my ship with 16 boxes when it's only rated for 8. Like, we really want to min-max. Even if we're not min-maxing people, we're just the nerds that are here first that are obsessing over the game. So we try to push everything to every stat and everything that you can do. When, like, a lot of people just make decisions because something looks cool. And if you've got 4 different ships that all work almost the exact same way to enter a game, you're going to have more disappointed people than if you had 8. And if it doesn't really take too much, like if you don't, these aren't the super creamy fighters, right? This isn't the balance of an Arrow versus a Gladius, or gosh, I don't even know, like a Vanguard versus a Guardian. I don't know. Like, these are starter ships. They can kind of lean in either direction when it comes to their stats and things, and these aren't the most intense battles that they're going up against, or the most hardcore cargo missions. And I think that having more choices in an area where you don't have to be super stringent about the stats and the specifics means that it's just going to be a more enjoyable experience for people who are starting the game out. And a lot of people just here for the vibes. Like, you just want to be able to play out a space game in the way that you want to play it. And not everybody is interested in just having the best. A lot of people just want to, like, oh, this is what it would have been like if I lived in Mass Effect, or this is how it would have been if I was born in the Stellar Blade universe, or this is what I had planned for my Pikmin playthrough. Like, just pick a universe, and somebody's probably playing this kind of a space game because they wanted to play in that. And I think it's good that they answered this, and I really, really hope that they can continue to, like, make this very clear and obvious that you don't need the best when you're picking a ship. Just need something that gets the job done and does it the way you want. How versatile is the Intrepid? Is it better suited for any particular type of gameplay? The Intrepid leans more into the delivery role than other starters, as it has 8 SCU of cargo and 3 slots for delivery boxes. What? What does that mean? What does it mean, 3 slots for delivery boxes? In the hab area? Oh, those are box. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize those are places for courier boxes. What? Have they ever done that? Have they ever made spaces for 1/8 SCU boxes? That's actually really interesting, because that seems to emphasize they want to focus on that. It's an interesting little design cue. I'm excited to see what they do with courier missions specifically. It does make the situation around the ship a little more interesting to me. And that's again why, like, yeah, we can talk about how good or bad the ship is, but depending on how they structure the game itself, different benefits will have like make a bigger point. Imagine, I don't think they're going to do this, but imagine if they took control surfaces and they just went absolute ape shit with it. You know, they were like, you cannot hover. You shall not hover. If you hover for more than 5 seconds, your thrusters take damage and you have to repair and you get screwed. So everybody was like, oh my God, I need a ship with VTOL. Guess what ship doesn't have VTOL? Your savior, the Titan. Now, that's not to say, again, like they're not going to do that, but it's just to say there are small little things with different ships that could or could not make a bigger difference. Spaces for courier boxes, that could make a difference. Who knows? We'll see. How well does this ship support a new player's journey from starting missions to mid-game? Answer is, as this ship gives players more cargo space, it allows them to make a little more money on each cargo trip. Over time, this will add up and help them progress in their careers. Brother, they're really pushing that cargo space. What are the Intrepid's advantages and disadvantages compared to other starters in its class? The Intrepid is designed to push cargo gameplay a little further than the alternatives, making it ideal for anyone who wants to focus on that career from the start. What? You could have just pasted this answer again. Okay. It looks like the Intrepid has 2 cargo lifts in place of a cargo ramp. What does loading cargo onto the ship look like? Wait, hold on, let me guess. The Intrepid has 2 cargo ramps because it is focused on cargo gameplay, and those who would like to pursue cargo should try this ship. That's going to be the answer. Rather than having to bring boxes through the ship and put them into the cargo bay, the bay extends down to the floor, allowing them to be loaded quickly. They can also be accessed from the interior. That is an advantage. Not a super huge one yet, but it could be a big advantage. You don't have to vent your ship to get cargo in there. You don't have to bring in, you don't have to lose your life support if you're on like a toxic planet or something. There are advantages to being able to have cargo come on and off your ship without exchanging any atmosphere while doing that. Not many ships can do that. All right, let's keep going. What are the dimensions and capacity of the cargo lifts? Can the Intrepid carry a ground vehicle? Each lift is designed to hold 4 SCU in a 1x4 configuration. The lifts are not designed to hold vehicles. They should have made this lift spec'd to hold a hover bike. You can hold the pulse on there. I think this should absolutely be able to hold a bike. It's just a weird choice to make a starter ship that can't at this point. I understand maybe in 2017, but I think all starter ships at this point should be able to hold something that you can use to get around on the ground. You can't put the pulse on it because it acts weird, but we did fit the pulse into the cargo compartment. Yeah, it acts weird right now. I think once the physics are working though, it'll be able to fit in there. Can a player enter the ship via the cargo lift? Yes, there are buttons on the inside of the cargo hold to let players enter the ship. They're like, yeah, we made a Crusader ship, a small Crusader ship with 2 entrances. Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, completely. Does the side entrance also act as a docking collar? That looks like a solid no. Why would we ask that? It's just a staircase. It doesn't have a docking collar. Yeah, the ship that small doesn't need it. What are the Intrepid's living amenities like? Are there any unique or standout interior features? The Intrepid comes with all the essentials of spending long periods in space, including bathroom facilities, a food processor, a bed, a dedicated suit locker, and an ample weapon rack for a single player. For those wondering what ships the Intrepid might be able to fit inside of, how big is it? 23 meters long, 20 meters wide, 6 meters tall. How does the ship handle? How agile is it? Among the starter ships, the Intrepid has remarkable flight and handling capabilities, like other ships in the Crusader family. Does the Intrepid perform better in certain environments? It performs, it's got solid flight performance in both 0G and atmospheric environments, offering the perfect experience for new players. What are its defensive capabilities and how does it fare in combat scenarios? Without any defensive turrets and only being armed with a single primary S4 weapon, combat is not the focus of the Intrepid. Then stop talking about it. However, it has enough punch to help get itself out of trouble, though it is not suited to prolonged combat engagements. Okay, so it's not combat focused. They are definitely doubling down on the idea that this is more about cargo. I don't understand. They had such a good excuse to make this a shielded cargo area. I wonder if they're moving away from that kind of gameplay. Like, is this a bad sign for smuggling? I don't want to start some kind of controversy that the lack of a feature in a ship release is a sign of something bad. That's not a great take, but it's so obvious. Why didn't they give this something specific about the cargo compartments? Like, if you're gonna split it into two 4SCU spots, why not make something special of it? Why not have them, like, why not have it be an asymmetric cargo grid that's 8 SCU? So that you could then fit different sized, I don't know. You can see when they do try to do stuff like this, when they introduce a ship and they're like, we're pushing the gameplay forward with it, check it out. And I think this would have been a pretty cool opportunity too. Yeah, it probably would have made it a little bit more skilled than a starter ship deserves to be. But then don't make it a starter. Make it a little bit more advanced than a starter. Put it in the $90 range. Put it in the Nomad territory. Just would have been very cool to be able to do something with this space. Either way, the Intrepid's only size 4 weapon bespoke, or can it be switched with other weapons? It is generic and can be swapped out. How does its armor compare to others? Since combat is not the primary role of the ship, the Intrepid favors agility and avoidance rather than tanking hits. We'll see how that balances out when we do get armor. How does the signature of the Intrepid compare to other starter ships when being scanned? That's important. Compared to other spaceships in its category, the Intrepid delivers average performance in its class. Missed opportunity. But that's the Q&A, and that is some information about how this ship will work.